Series between these two clubs, and we're underway now. Officially, the Kings dump it in. Deneau working with Trevor Moore. LA comes off a 5-4 victory over Colorado on Saturday afternoon. The Oilers, second of a back-to-back. They're 8-5 in that situation this year. Bouchard to Nurse. A shot sails wide of Darcy Kemper, who just had a 15-game streak where he gave up 2 goals or less, snapped by Colorado on Saturday, and yet he still won. He's 30-11-7. Calvin Pickard, 22-9-1 in net for Edmonton. Kings get it in deep, and we're going to have a penalty called right off the hop here. Bouchard, 48 seconds in. Coventry Homes, flexibility within reach. Get back in the game with customizable designs by Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers. Bob, as you know, LA has 2 weak spots. Number 1, they don't play very well away from home, and number 2, their power play hasn't been good all year.
Well, free one here. Unfortunately, Jeff Skinner couldn't pick up a wraparound around the boards, and Bouchard got caught in no man's land. Kings power play is 28th in the league, Jack, and the Oilers penalty killing has moved up to a high point all season long at 16th.
Off the draw, here's Andrei Kopitar, killing 18 of the last 19. They had a streak of 17 in a row, snapped by the Jets last night, and still won the hockey game 4-1. The 4 goals on the road marked the first time in 15 games Edmonton had gotten to 4 away from home. Here's Kopitar, gaining the line off to Kevin Fiala, having a career year with 34 goals. Around the boards, held in by Brent Clark. LA without Joel Edmondson tonight, but they do get Drew Doughty back. He missed the last several games. Actually was hurt 9 days ago in the win over Edmonton, 3-0. That was last Saturday. Andrei Kopitar tried to center that one off a skate. The Oilers are 1-1-1 against the Kings this year. Kempe to Kopitar. Dish down low, and Andrei Kuzmenko has been a revelation since joining Los Angeles. Force feeds it into Byfield. One-timer coming, a save made by Calvin Pickard up top against Kempe, who steps in, dishes off, tough pass, back foot, one-timer not available for Brent Clark, so he'll go behind the net. It's Kopitar, 14th 20-goal campaign already secured for Kopitar. Pass initially stymied by Connor Brown, and then he made another play, jabbing the stick at a cross-seamer, and then LA offside. Kuzmenko knows it, and because that pass was delivered out near the LA blue line, face-off comes on the dot right in front of the LA bench. 36 seconds left in this Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Napa.
Kuzmenko, you mentioned, he's been a good fit here. 5 goals, 16 points, 19 games, plus 10, playing on the KKK line with Kopitar and Kempe.
12 points in his last 7. Kings, this year, though, the 23rd best record away from home. They've been absolute money on home ice, not so much on the road. Doughty pounds one toward the net. It was deflected right back to him. He basically conceded he's not going to be at full strength this year. Pickard a tough right skate save on Trevor Moore, who grew up in the shadow of LA's Crypto.com arena. Moore controlling behind the Oiler net as the power play winds down. Lost the handle, stepping up with a blast, and that was tipped wide of Pickard and then poked home on the rebound by Warren Foegele, who extends his own career high with his 23rd of the season. Past 3 years an Oiler, he comes back to Edmonton and scores, and the Kings take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Fogel's had an incredible year. He's now plus 33 on the season. Edmonton couldn't vacate the zone as Brown and Nurse were out there at the end of the PK, and Edmonton couldn't get it out. And unfortunately for Edmonton, a hard ricochet off the backboards, and Foegele quickly pounced on the rebound. It's 1-0 Los Angeles.
Foegele actually tipped the initial shot, and as you said, then when the live hop came off the end boards, he was able to whack it home. Quinn Hudson, his NHL debut, played in the national championship game for Boston University, a 6-2 loss to Western Michigan on Saturday night. Said he's not nearly over that one, but he makes his NHL debut tonight at age 23. After 3 years at BU, following 2 seasons in the United States Hockey League, and here's an icing call coming, whistled against Edmonton. And Quinn Hudson, a guy, Bob, obviously his younger brother Lane, probably the front runner, I would think, for the Calder Trophy this year, ahead of Macklin Celebrini.
Yep.
And then you've got Cole Hudson, who all he's done thus far is win gold at the World Juniors for Team USA, and he's a second-round pick of the Caps that they're really high on.
Well, he should be. Washington can really draft. They got two great second-rounders. Andrew Crystal as well. Spokane had a mammoth season at WHL.
Moore works it around the boards. Moore, Deneau, and Fogle out for L.A. as Edmonton chops it out of the zone. Corey Perry scored his 18th of the year to go along with an assist last night in the win over Winnipeg. Kings shovel it down deep. Moore does the honors. Picked up and moving swiftly up ice is Brett Kulak. No Troy Stetcher tonight, and Kulak's dump in went off the curved glass to the immediate left of David Riddick, backing up Darcy Kemper tonight. And the faceoff will come out to center. And we should mention, of course, with Hudson's signing, that means Derek Ryan and Noah Philp had to come out of the lineup, Bob. And then defensively, of course, Troy Stetcher left the game against Winnipeg. It didn't appear to you and I as to be overly serious, but now we're told he may be out for a significant point of time. And Bob's telling me it's time to take a break. So I'll listen. I think that we've got some cracked glass. That's why we're taking the break here. 4 minutes gone by in the first period. We'll take time out for now. Warren Fogle has put the Los Angeles Kings up 1-0. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey live from Rogers Place. Ending to that pane of plexi. 4 minutes into this first period, Bob, it allows us to talk about, some similarities between tonight's game and last year's game 79. When Edmonton still had a theoretical shot at the Pacific Division, decided to play the long game. Connor McDavid probably could have played, didn't play. Canucks won a close game, and the Oilers ended up beating Vancouver in Game 7 anyway. Are there some parallels that can be drawn tonight? Yes, the Oilers are banged up, but they also have some guys who would probably be going if this was next Sunday or Monday, theoretically, in L.A.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I'd say is obviously multiply it by XXX here in terms of how many more guys are out for Edmonton. It's unreal.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it just...
But what I'm saying is they're not trying to grasp home ice, per se. No. They're playing the long game.
Rob Brown talked about the fact that before the game, in this game, like, what can't happen here is L.A. can't lose to an Edmonton team tonight that doesn't have McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman. I mean, the Oilers are the only team in the league with three different guys that have scored 50 goals in the last 3 years, and they're all out at tonight's game. Right? And that doesn't include, they lose Ekholm, all right, we know he's going to be out a while, but Jake Wallman as well in the back end. And then the two wild cards are Stetcher and
Kane and
Frederick, because of the physicality that they theoretically could bring. So, if you're LA, you want to take care of business. And the Oilers have had I'm not going to say a sleepy start, but they're down here 1-0 and didn't like how the penalty sort of was created for Los Angeles that really led to the power play goal, end of the power play. 5-on-5 goal for LA.
Well, it's the third time in 5 games the Oilers are playing a man short tonight, 11 forwards and 5 defense, and here's another disconnect as we'll have an icing call whistled against Edmonton.
That's a long 70-foot stretch pass that they can't negotiate contact in, and now
And you probably didn't need to make it. Take a few more strides and reduce it to a 40-foot pass.
Right, so...
Face-off right side of Calvin Pickard, who stopped 26 of 28 last Saturday in Los Angeles. The one thing I'll say, Bob...
He played well in that game.
He played well in that game, and the other thing is the Kings didn't pull away from a depleted Edmonton lineup that day either. Oh. Here's Anderson, a shot that caromed off the skate of Kuzmenko, drifted just wide. Pickard flashes out the left pad and is able to make the save on the wraparound effort from the 37-year-old Andrei Kopitar. Pickard had to be alert there. Now they're talking about it. Calvin Pickard turning 33 tomorrow. He's won 7 of his last 9. And as Bob and I just talked about, 9 days ago, he didn't get any run support. And that was a game where, Bob, quite frankly, you could play it another hour, and I'm not sure the Oilers were scoring.
No, they were boxed out. I think what disappointed me in that game is just I didn't like the competitiveness in the box, in the paint. And if I recall correctly, Edmonton got off to a very slow start again.
Another icing call against Edmonton.
Had nothing going here early. They're going to have to dig in a little bit. I think that's a given. Got 4 or 5 icing calls, taking a penalty.
Nugent Hopkins returning after a 3-game absence due to illness. He'll dig in against Quinton Byfield. Stuart Skinner got the nod last night and won, stopping 17 of 18 as the Oilers held the President's Trophy winners to their fewest shots on net all year. Pickard was able to blocker a floater from the blue line out of play at the expense of Drew Doughty, 35 years of age. And
Brown's going off here. I think he got clipped. Might be leaking. Right off the draw and the follow through and the shot from the LA forward.
Yeah, he did go underneath. That could be just a repair scenario, although I think the other thing at play here, Bob, more so than last year, is Edmonton's a bit spooked right now. They've had some guys try to come back and re-aggravate things, and I think they're just, again, trying to play the long game and worry about next week rather than this week so much. Here's Bouchard. Slide step to your right, taken off his stick, and Gavrikov with a clear up towards center. But that also may account for the quiet start we've seen because the players know. Yep. Alex Laferriere sends it in. Boy, what a huge game the Fiala-Laferriere and Byfield line had.
We got a penalty from the LA bench. They grabbed Corey Perry.
Call will be made by Jean Hébert. And it does look like it'll only be L.A. Philip Deneau to the box. Let's get the call.
LA bench minor penalty for interference.
There it is. So Deneau with a little tug on Corey Perry's stick. Yeah, and there was some fencing there. And, you know, that's Perry's gamesmanship. And you said it, Bob, last night when we were sitting there having a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning in Winnipeg. 39 years of age, 5 fights, soon to be 18 goals. Who was one of the first guys on the ice?
Yep, loves the game.
Adam Henrique wins the faceoff. Bouchard, a blast from Arvidsson, and that pinballed off the plexi and is clubbed down the ice by Andrei Kopitar.
That almost got Perry.
It did. LA, while porous on the power play this year, has been pretty good on the kill.
But they were good on the kill last year too, Jack, and the Oilers got him in round 1.
You mean the last 3 years? Nugent Hopkins drops it off against
but they
Victor
dramatically
Arvidsson.
improved their penalty killing last, and that's what I mean. It didn't show up in the playoffs.
My point is Edmonton's got 25 power play goals in the last 18 playoff games between these two clubs. Doesn't matter the year, doesn't matter the numbers. So, and I think that's your greater point too. We'll see what happens when the games really mean something. Bouchard sends it down low. LA able to win a battle down low and clear it. And I mean, let's face it, you're also talking about an Oiler power play that's 2/5 of what it will be next week.
Yep.
No McDavid, no Draisaitl, no Hyman. Draisaitl still tied for the league lead with 16 power play goals, even though he's been out the last couple of weeks. Connor Brown been on a heater lately. 4 goals in his last 3. Shovels it down low as this Oiler power play brought to you by Atco, Alberta's trusted energy retailer. Has 40 seconds remaining. However, Jeff Skinner can't keep it in the
12
zone.
degrees tomorrow.
And that puck will
2 degrees cooler than
travel the length of the
today.
ice.
See full forecast screen lock.
Nurse to Brown. Dumps it in. Kemper leaves it for Drew Doughty. He thought he was held by Brown. Didn't get the call. Brown slides it back to Nurse and across to Brett Kulak. His wrist shot swallowed up by Gavrikov, slashing away at the puck. And the second effort muscles it inside the Edmonton line, down to 10 seconds on the Oiler power play. Edmonton left to right in this first period. Nurse dumps it in. Bouncing puck fielded by Kemper. Laid off the glass, settled by Kapanen. Beautiful look. Here's Skinner shooting and a save made by Kemper, who dropped it momentarily. And Edmonton's first shot comes 7 minutes and 13 seconds into the hockey game, and it's a tough one. Kemper staring down Skinner.
Well, Skinner, as you know, how many times has he scored 30 goals in his career?
6.
6 times 30 goals scored. Top of the face-off circle, look there from distance. But when you got a goalie that's plus 25, Jack, and goals saved above expectation this year, he's stopping the puck. LA's got the 4th best save percentage in the NHL. I mean, they're second in goals against. They're second in shots against, and they're fourth in save percentage. It's part of the reason why they're as good as they are defensively.
And Kemper personally is second in goals against, third in save percentage, and shutouts. Shut out the Oilers last Saturday, 26 saves. Drive by Anderson, redirected wide. Rebound, fought for, controlled by Fiala. Threw it back behind the net for LaFerriere. Tried to twist it back to the point, taken away by Podkolzin, and here come the Oilers. 3-on-3, sent in deep by Max Jones, who's been knocking on the door lately, playing some good hockey. Ty Emberson, wrist shot deflected, and then ricocheted wide. LaFerriere almost booted that one into his own net. Brant Clark able to come up with the puck, paired with Mikey Anderson at this moment, and he'll launch down the middle of the ice. Grabbed by Cam Dineen and whistled in by Podkolzin. Josh Brown in the game for Edmonton tonight. It's his 9th NHL appearance this season. He's played limited minutes the last couple games against Tucson as a member of the Bakersfield Condors, for whom he's dressed 39 times this year and played to a +8.
Well, he missed about a month. His wife had a pregnancy. They've had a difficult family situation to deal with. He and Travis Dermott. Dermott was claimed on February the 26th. Still has not played in Bakersfield yet. He is down there.
Second time through, of course, Dermott broke camp with the Oilers. Played some games early in the season and was picked up by Minnesota. Here's a shot by Jordan Spence, and that squirted through everyone. I think we've got a penalty coming against Edmonton as the man taken out down low, I believe, was Malott.
It was Malott.
Yeah, Malott drew the call.
Stick came up, clipped him. 4-time 20 goals scorer in the American League. Started in Winnipeg's organization.
Winnipeg gave him 1 game in 4 years. Hard to believe. And you look at Malott, and I know you and I had some empathy for Patrick Russell. Well, Jeff Malott had a goal taken off the board last Saturday. Thought he had scored his first NHL goal, but the Kings were offside, and Noah Siegel doesn't miss many.
Yep. Nailed that one.
Kopitar.
This is a big kill for Edmonton. I mean, you don't want LA to run away here.
Kopitar wins the faceoff. Kempe back to Kopitar, side of the net, quick dish, and that was there, but Fiala fumbled it away. Nugent Hopkins and Henrique with a clear length of the ice, and Edmonton will change it up. Nurse and Bouchard remain out there as the Kings dash back to pick it up. Kempe with Brown trailing him, swings it back to Kopitar. Byfield flying through the neutral zone, gives it up. Kuzmenko back to Byfield. Coming off a 3-point game in the win over Colorado, but he's usually tough on Edmonton. But a miscommunication between Kopitar and Fiala. Kemper comes out to play it ahead for Fiala, who takes a return feed from Kopitar. Behind the net, Adrian Kempe up top of the right circle. Fiala shoots, save made, rebound, bounced around. Fiala got it back. Kings on the power play for another minute 5. Here's a redirection home, and it's Byfield right on cue, Bob. He seems to show up particularly in this building, and that was a heck of a high slot deflection. 2-0 LA on Byfield's 23rd of the season.
Well, Drew Doughty's an experienced player. He doesn't slap the puck. I mean, the statistics support, wrist. Think about what's easier to deflect, a wrist shot or a snapper or that big outser from the point. Fiala swings it back, and
Kempe with a beautiful wrist shot that's punched home by Quentin Byfield.
9, not 8.
I meant what you knew.
Yeah.
Byfield from Kempe and Fiala. And the Kings take a 2-0 lead. Oilers just 1 shot in the first 9.5 minutes, and it hasn't helped. They've been shorthanded twice. Here come the Oilers off the center ice draw. Nugent Hopkins around Mikey Anderson, then swung by Kemper and chopped out by Philip Deneau. I think Nugent Hopkins might have drawn a call here. What do we have?
No, I think it's gonna be a Connor Brown going after Philip Deneau.
Yeah, Deneau, I thought also chopped Brown. I thought Nugent Hopkins on that inside drive thought he had drawn a stick infraction, but they got Brown for retaliating on Deneau. It's going to be a roughing call against Connor Brown, and the Oilers put themselves shorthanded for a 3rd time inside 10 minutes, and Brown
can't play this way.
Finished him off with a little right elbow to the chin. So it was Perry getting underneath Deneau's skin, and then Deneau was able to draw a bit of a frustration penalty from Connor Brown.
Well, now this is a mammoth kill for the Oilers.
That was a big hit by Deneau. He leveled Brown back up ice, and Brown, enraged, went after him. Adam Henrique comes up with a loose puck off the draw, lifts it down the middle of the ice. 10 minutes gone by, first period. LA leads by a count of 2-0. Quentin Byfield around Arvidsson, gained the line, cuts left, shoots, deflected, rebound. What a save by Calvin Pickford, flashing out the left pad. That was some kind of stop on Kuzmenko, who appeared to have the 3-0 goal on his stick. Fiala steps up left circle, tried to go cross ice, deflected. Byfield denied by Pickard. Two really good stops by Pickard. Now Byfield point blank. Tried to go back door and unable to guide it home was Kopitar. And out of the fray comes Matthias Janmark a second time and finally chopped off his stick by Kempe. I'm not sure how LA didn't score on that last flurry. Give Pickard a lot of credit. Here's Fiala, little spin move on Podkolzin. Heading for the net, tried to dish. The Kings don't generally pull away from teams. That's another situation for Los Angeles to keep in mind moving forward. They play closer to the margins than Edmonton does. They've got a 2-0 advantage. Kempe failed to handle a pass in the high slot. Here's Podkolzin shorthanded. Absorbs a hip check from Kempe. That was well landed by Adrian Kempe. And Philip Deneau will take over, thundering back into him. Podkolzin, he got a reverse pop for his troubles. And the Oilers are looking like a frustrated hockey club here in the early going. LaFerriere, he was absolutely drilled by Josh Brown on the dump in. And it's getting nasty between two teams who are going to see one another for real in a week's time. LA back together. Deneau up the left-hand side. Warren Fogle to LaFerriere. Hit hard by Darnell Nurse. Here's Drew Doughty as the power play comes to an end. Successful Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Pickard makes a tough save against Anderson. Fogle unable to finish the rebound, and the Oilers escape unscathed. The Napa Auto Parts penalty kill coming through for the second time in 3 opportunities in this first period. But that's the problem.
You know, Fogle won't fight.
Fogle continues to jab away, and he took a penalty. And that's Janmark baiting Warren Fogle into a penalty. And both teams are taking some retaliatory penalties that are going to drive their respective head coaches absolutely nuts. Oilers will turn it over as they hit the LA line, but Fogle takes a bad penalty at 12:29 of this first period, and that'll set Edmonton up with its second. Yeah. Fogle continuing to argue it's going to be only Fogle to the box. So an Atco power play when we come back to Rogers Place. Los Angeles 2. Edmonton no score. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. 7.5 to play. First period. Warren Fogle taking a penalty he didn't need to against Matthias Janmark. There was some jostling in front of the Edmonton bench. And as a result, the Oilers back on the power play. 5 combined power plays for these two teams in the first 12.5 minutes. Off the draw, Nugent Hopkins controls. Adam Henrique in the slot. Corey Perry behind the net. Gavrikov will pursue. Mishandled by Arvidsson, and the Kings will clear back through center.
Oilers need more out of Victor Arvidsson right now, especially since they don't have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman.
Arvidsson to Perry. That shot deflected. Here's Deneau chipping it, but not out. Trevor Moore didn't get it done. Perry had it knocked away by Deneau. Gavrikov with an opportunity to clear, and he rams it off the boards and back to center. Carried in by Nugent Hopkins, who's the leading goal scorer in the Edmonton lineup with 20. Kings have 5 20-goal scorers at their disposal tonight. The Oilers 1. Adam Henrique. Nugent Hopkins. Henrique tried to center. That was deflected. Henrique has gotten hot with 4 goals and 9 points in his last 11. Here's Bouchard across. Handled by Nugent Hopkins off his back foot. Bouchard. Little spin. Corey Perry keeps it moving. Arvidsson. Back to Perry. Arvidsson deep in the left-hand corner. Atco power play for the Oilers. A shot, and that went off the right shoulder of Kemper, high on the plexi, taken by Perry. He nudged it inside. Henrique directs back to Bouchard, a blast and a save made by Darcy Kemper. The rebound, Bouchard tried to swing it down low. Centering pass intended for Nugent Hopkins, broken up. And L.A. jabs it down the middle. Kempe on net, Pickard to reset.
Better looking power play for Edmonton, though, Jack.
Much better. Well, for one thing, they're able to get set up. Here's Nurse. Back to Connor Brown. Sidecar is Kulak. Kapanen on the right wing. Skinner on the left wing. Kapanen double teamed in the corner. Has not scored a goal since January 23rd. Tied up with Jordan Spence. Nurse from distance. A save made by Kemper. He almost fooled him. Here's Kulak, a blast, and Kemper this time, square to the shooter, makes the save. I think Nurse thought he saw something, and he was almost right. Kemper had to make a sprawling save. The power play comes to an end, and with 5.5 to go in this first period, we'll take time out. The Oilers have rattled off 4 of the game's last 5 shots on net, but they're 0 for 2 on the power play, and they're trailing 2-0. Goals for Fogle and Byfield, both with their 23rd for Los Angeles. We're live from the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth high atop Rogers Place on the Oilers Radio Network. 2-0 hockey game in favor of Los Angeles. A face-off coming to the right of Darcy Kemper, making his 7th consecutive start for the Kings. 12-4-4 lifetime with a save percentage of 92 against the Oilers. A shot tipped. He and Pavel Francouz guided Colorado to a 4-game sweep of the Oilers back in the 2022 conference final. Here's Warren Fogle. Double teamed. Didn't work out for Kemper in Washington, but a trade that benefited both teams. Kemper coming to L.A. and Pierre-Luc Dubois to Washington. And L.A. benefited twice from that situation because they were able to unload the Dubois contract after a deal that cost them Gabe Velarde to Winnipeg. Yeah, big hit in the corner. Josh Brown, as you were saying earlier, Bob, with a big hit that for a while seemed to turn the game's momentum in Edmonton's favor. But the Kings with a 2-0 lead. Byfield shoots it in. Here's Jeff Skinner in front of the Oiler bench. Staggers his way to center and then inadvertently fires it into about the 9th row near side. Bob and I up on the 8th floor with our it's been a while. Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Coventry's the starting lineup. Bob, just shake me a little bit.
Well,
once you hear the head rattle, you can figure it out. I
had number 8 wearing number 9, so that tells you a little right there. Now, we are a ways up.
Righty-lefty.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Aren't you glad I'm back?
No.
4.5 minutes to go, first period. Rogers Place, Edmonton 25-12-3 at home this year.
The Oilers have the tougher lineup. I mean, don't be afraid to embrace the opportunity to get some shots in on these guys. You know you're going to be playing them.
Shoveled in by Kempe. Whistled up the left-hand side, backing off against Skinner's Jordan Spence, and he'll fire it in deep. Kemper plays it up the left wing boards. Philip Deneau, and now Kuzmenko did not get it out. Bouchard's shot was blocked. Skinner an interception. That creates for Nugent Hopkins, and now Skinner back on the puck. Jeff Skinner spun down, and that's another penalty. And they're calling, are they going to call 2 here or just the hook?
Just the hook.
And it's going to be Gavrikov to the box, and now each team with 3 first-period power plays. And it starts with Skinner making the steal. Kings had an opportunity to get it out, and the Oilers just would not let L.A. get an exit.
Think of where Skinner was at plus-minus, Jack, in around December, and where he's at right now. I mean,
Well, Skinner, Henrique, and Arvidsson, I think, have benefited from playing the kind of minutes that they typically did on other teams before joining Edmonton.
Henrique's done a good job in the circle to start a couple power plays here. If I'm Edmonton, I'm getting it to the net quicker. Try to create some chaos. You can't pass it in.
Henrique won the faceoff. Nugent Hopkins passed on a shot from the slot, kicked it back to Bouchard. Here's Perry, deep left corner. Thought a shot might be available there. Arvidsson to Bouchard. In other words, I agree with you. Here's a shot redirected, and that was a tough save made by Kemper. Henrique in the high slot lurking. Arvidsson had it forced out. A good play by a lunging Drew Doughty. Arvidsson, of course, a part of this rivalry last couple seasons with Los Angeles. though he missed one series. Rifled in by Trevor Moore, and that's going to be knocked down by Calvin Pickard. The Atco power play at 1:20 with Gavrikov in the box for the hook on Jeff Skinner. Nugent Hopkins gliding his way in. He'll put it behind the LA defense, pull his way past Morvarari, and then it appeared Arvidsson had an open net as he was driving down the right-hand side, but couldn't finish, and LA gets a length of the ice clear from Mikey Anderson.
You're never going to get a more fortuitous bounce than that. He's got to put that puck in the net there.
Stays out, and Darnell Nurse on the ice for Edmonton. Connor Brown, the trailer. Nurse fooled LA, and he's in on a breakaway, only to be denied by Darcy Kemper. What a change of pace by Darnell Nurse. And Drew Doughty fires it down the ice. He caught LA napping and blew right past Drew Doughty. Kemper comes up with the save, and that's what he's given LA all year long. Rob Brown talked about it. The difference from the prior 3 years, Kings have a legitimate number one. And when I say that, I mean a top 3 goaltender in the league, at least this year. The statistics would back it up, nudged by Anderson back through the middle. Only Connor Hellebuck has surpassed Darcy Kemper in the major categories. Working his way in is Skinner. A pass to Kapanen. I thought Skinner might have drawn another hooking call there. Kulak and Kapanen trade. Here's Skinner, and he just wired it wide from the top of the right circle. Rebound Nurse in front. Kapanen knocked away from him. The Oilers fail to convert the power play, and the Kings get it out. Byfield stung by a hard body check from Kasperi Kapanen, as you may have heard Bob exclaim. 100 seconds to play in this first period. LA 2-0, but very much Edmonton has at least established a foothold. Yeah.
What was the turning point? It was the Josh Brown hit, got everybody engaged and involved.
Brown will get it back from Matthias Janmark and rifle it in from center. Jordan Spence slashing at the puck, batted out a meter by Deneau, and here come the Kings. Warren Fogle picking up speed through the neutral zone, hitting the trailer. Gavrikov scores. 3-0 Los Angeles. Gavrikov with his 5th.
Nice shot. Finish that one, Jack.
Fogle with the assist. And this crowd has been quieted. So Kemper, the big save at one end when Nurse catches LA sleeping a bit.
3 notifications.
And then at
Google,
the other,
Group,
Fogle to
now,
Moore.
watch game
hits
recap.
the trailer, and
Braves
Gavrikov
8-4
makes
Blue
no
Jays.
mistake. Time to goal.
Apr.14 screen lock.
18:45. Moore scored an overtime goal a couple years ago against Edmonton in the playoffs. It was disputed, but the Kings took a 2-1 series lead, then took a 3-0 lead in Game 4. Jack Campbell bailed the Oilers out, and Edmonton won the series in 6. Here's Fiala knocking down a lead pass off the draw, then thrown back in front, and Pickard able to pull that in. Moore and Fogle with the assists, and once again it gets a little rough behind the Edmonton net. I think the other thing is LA started to join Edmonton in the penalty box, and now Perry had his helmet popped off here. Let's see what the call is. That can be an automatic penalty.
I think this one's going to go coincidental minors, Jack.
You think coincidental?
Yep.
One guy's going for sure. I don't know about coincidental. And this is another undisciplined penalty
for roughing
against LA. Yeah, Byfield popped the helmet off. And Bob, as you know, that's an automatic. You pop that helmet off, and Byfield did against Corey Perry. No question about it. A headlock, ripped the helmet off. And he had a chance to let Perry go and did not. And I got to say this. LA is keeping Edmonton in the game with some silly, undisciplined penalties.
Well, the Oilers have got to score on their opportunities.
Fair point.
They've had 3 or 4 pretty good looks in this game and haven't been able to score. And the Kings have been opportunistic and finished.
Last power play, some good looks.
Yeah, but
first unit and then Nurse on the rush.
A pass off right off a face-off win where Nugent Hopkins had a chance in the high slot.
Look at where Jeff Skinner is now. He's in the high slot. Nugent Hopkins taking the draw. So they're switching it up here with Adam Henrique sitting this one out. Only problem is Nugent Hopkins gets chased out, and now it'll be Skinner taking the draw against Andrei Kopitar. 56 seconds to go in the period. Off the face-off, Arvidsson might have gotten away with a hold. Here's Nugent Hopkins, tried to burrow his way in, gives it up for Corey Perry. 7 power plays in the first 20. Good play by Bouchard to knock it down, but it did hop outside the zone, so the Oilers must reload. Atco power play. The Oilers 0 for 3 tonight, all in the first period. Arvidsson fell down, lost the handle, and that'll be clubbed down the ice by Gavrikov, who moments ago scored a 5-on-5 goal to give the Kings a 3-0 lead. Fogle with a goal and an assist in this first period. Nugent Hopkins fires it in from center. That's not touched. Unforced error, 16 seconds to go. And Bob, again, I go back to the fact that you've got 40% of your number one power play unit. At times it's been disjointed.
You made some bets on some guys too, Jack, on July the 1st. And we could talk about Skinner's game picking up. And Arvidsson's got, 5 goals after the last...
7 in the last 14 games.
Right, so he's going to... And that's... Holy cow.
Penalty against Edmonton. Looked like
right
a potential breakout, and Arvidsson instead will go to the box. And now we've had 8
and no fights.
Penalties and no fights. Yeah, all minors. But again, it's getting a little nasty. We've seen some undisciplined penalties from both teams, and Arvidsson, got the stick in on the hands of Trevor Moore.
Bottom line, Jack, is they needed more out of Arvidsson all year long to find his game. Now he's got 7, he said, in his last 14. Hopefully that translates into some playoff success. And same with Skinner, but I'm going to be what if I told you? I don't know if we're going to see. Oh, look out.
Oh, here off the draw, Trevor Moore rifled one wide. 4-on-4. LA has been outscored 6-2 this year. Edmonton has been on the plus side of it, 5-0, but now taking a skate and pulling it all the way back into his own zone is Brent Clark. So end of 20 minutes, and it's LA 3, Edmonton no score. And Bob, you used the proper word for what we saw in the opening 20 minutes. Edmonton pushed its way back into the game, helped by some silly LA penalties. But while the Kings have been opportunistic, Darcy Kemper has bailed LA out when they've been porous defensively.
Jack, all year long, the Oilers have looked for some secondary scoring, and it hasn't really been there. It's started to pick up a little bit more from Arvidsson and from Jeff Skinner. So here's the deal. What if I told you maybe you can only play 2 of the following 3 players? Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner, and Corey Perry.
Leave it for Kempe.
Well, they've called everything tonight, and they got 2 veteran officials working this game.
Wes McCauley and John Hebert.
And that's because they know these 2 teams are playing in the playoffs.
Here's Kuzmenko dropping it off. Byfield fanned on a centering pass and taking advantage with the length of the ice clear is Matthias Janmark. And the Kings are 1 for 4 on the power play tonight as this one expires. A successful Napa Auto Parts penalty kill for Edmonton. A dump in from Ty Emberson. First period goals by Fogle, Byfield, and Gavrikov. As LA out to a 3-0 lead. Kapanen works his way over the line. 5 consecutive scoreless periods turned in by Kemper. Here's a lead pass. Fogle, a wrist shot off the rush, and a save made by Calvin Pickard. And he'll freeze it. 2 1/4 gone by second period. I talked to Fogle this morning, Bob, and he said, look, guys love playing for Calvin Pickard. It would not surprise me at all if he gets some time at some point in the playoffs. He's had a heck of a year. The opposition and the opposing teams have taken notice of Calvin Pickard's year, 22-9-1. Then again, as you know, Bob, 2 years ago, Jack Campbell went 21-9-1.
And Stuart Skinner had an all-world year for Rookie of the Year.
A finalist, Calder finalist that year. Skinner himself, 25 victories this year as the Oilers for the second time in 3 years have 2 goaltenders with at least 20 wins. Corey Perry will take it back through center. Off an Oiler dump in. Nurse to Bouchard. He'll whistle in deep. This series, rumors have it, beginning, if it does in Los Angeles, either Sunday or Monday. Shot in by Adam Henrique. And Bob, I know you expect Stuart Skinner to be the starter for game 1.
I do.
Lead pass, Brent Clark. Punch forward and clubbed in by Jeff Malott. Lead pass to Max Jones, set up by Kulak. Kemper will leave it for Drew Dowdy. We know for certain that Darcy Kemper is going to get the Game 1 nod for Los Angeles. Trevor Moore guilty of an icing call. 3 1/4 relatively uneventful minutes have passed here in the second period, and the Kings lead at 3-0.
Strength down the spine, right? That's part of the issue. And you look at LA, and Pierre-Luc Dubois was the second-line center for the Kings, and he had a rough series against Edmonton. Well, now they've moved Byfield full-time to center. Kopitar, Byfield, and Deneau in the 3-hole. Then obviously Kemper and goal are a different team as a result.
Blasted wide by Kulak. LA hopeful to get Tanner Jeannot back for the playoffs. That would help solidify that fourth line, which tonight has Sammy Helenius centering in, and another big hit by Josh Brown as he absolutely pulverized.
No one's going to do a thing with him tonight.
No, pulverized. Is it Turcotte into the Edmonton bench? He nailed somebody. Yeah, it was Turcotte. Absolutely belted him.
He didn't get all of them, though.
Well, 6'4" of Josh Brown against the diminutive Turcotte is plenty.
Well, as you know, Turcotte's had some
injuries.
Yeah, injuries along the way.
He's done a nice job of forging his way onto this team. It takes longer with some young players. A lot of buzz surrounding Alex Turcotte when he was selected 5th out overall in 2019.
He's not the only one that went in the top 5 of the 2019 draft that's had some injury issues. Yep. Kirby Dach, as you know, from Montreal as well.
Shoveled toward the net. Kemper punched toward the corner. Here's an opening for Quinn Hudson. A little miscommunication with Emberson, who wanted to slide to the high slot. The pass eluded him. And Emberson will have to chase it down on his own end. And he almost crisscrossed right back into Kevin Fiala. Eventually turned it over. LaFerriere steal at center. Fiala to Byfield. Left circle heading for the net. Didn't get a shot away. A lot of chemistry between the threesome that's on the ice for the LA Kings. They're coming off a big game in a win over Colorado, and Byfield already on the scoreboard tonight. Here's Fiala looking for LaFerriere. Wrist shot and kicked away by Pickard.
It's a good stop from Pickard.
Yeah, that line's been buzzing last couple of games as the Kings starting to find their game down the stretch. Of course, especially on home ice, they've just been deadly. 2 losses in their last 20. Here's Kopitar. Through the neutral zone, Jordan Spence looking up ice. Kopitar and Kempe properly covered, so Spence turns it over. Kopitar knocked down a lead pass, but the Oilers will bring it in. Quinn Hudson stood up by Spence at the blue line, and then it was booted back out for Kuzmenko. Trying to fight off Podkolzin, got roughed up and dropped in front of the LA bench. Good hard play by Podkolzin. Bouchard to Nurse at center. Here come the Oilers right to left. Nurse a shot, gloved by Kemper, no rebound. 14:42 to go in the second period. And Darcy Kemper, boy, he just looks locked in the entire year. Makes it look easy. Not too many juicy rebounds. LA a 3-0 lead and a face-off coming to Kemper's right. Again, he just had a streak, snapped 15 in a row with 2 goals or less. The only goaltender since the expansion era that could lay claim to 15 games in a row, 2 goals or less. You want to take a stab at it? An Alberta goaltender. Off the draw, squirted free, and Kemper scooped it up. So I'm talking. You're right team, wrong goaltender.
An Alberta goaltender, so not a Canadian-born player, but a guy that played for the Flames.
Guy who played for the Flames.
Mika Kiprusoff.
There you go. 2004, 16 in a row. That's the only goalie in the last.
You know how far that team went
years.
That year? They made it to the Stanley Cup final.
Right. Some would say should have won it. Phantom goal in Game 6. Here's Adam Henrique up the right-hand side. Corey Perry heading for the net. But just to illustrate how effective Kemper has been, and I know Hellebuck deserves the Vezina, and he'll win it. It'll be his 3rd, but Darcy Kemper is right there. Here's Deneau. Chipping it in over the line. Long shot tipped in front of Calvin Pickard, grabbed by Evan Bouchard, and the Oilers will reload in their own end. Perry across to Darnell Nurse. Lead pass, Jeff Skinner grabs it, double teamed immediately. Connor Brown able to hold the zone. Well done for Nugent Hopkins to the middle of the ice. Skinner flicked it back. Open Josh Brown, and a save made by Darcy Kemper on Josh Brown, who has not scored a goal all year, either in the NHL or the AHL. And Kemper able to lock it down with 6 minutes and 21 seconds having elapsed here in the second period. Los Angeles on the strength of 3 first-period goals. A 3-0 lead at Rogers Place in downtown Edmonton. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio 3-0 hockey game, Rogers Place in Edmonton. Oilers will board a plane tomorrow and play San Jose in the regular season finale, Game 82. That game, if this score doesn't change, will mean absolutely nothing for Edmonton, with the exception of Connor McDavid, will be playing to get his 100th point for a 5th consecutive year. And my suspicion is
he'll play.
If that's the scenario, I know he'll play, but if that's the scenario, Bob, I think it's very possible that they'd shut him down once he gets that 100th point. The way the end of this season has gone in terms of the injury bug. Doughty rifles one on net from center ice, kicked to the corner by Pickard. The outlet on to Connor Brown, and now Jeff Skinner wheeling his way in. A drop pass picked off by Kopitar down the middle. Kempe's got a breakaway. Left to right. Denied by Pickard. Emerson got back to take away Kempe's path if he wanted to drag across, but Calvin Pickard has made a couple of key saves here to prevent this game from getting completely out of hand.
Well, Skinner fueled their transition there with a bad drop pass.
Shot wide of the net, caromed off the corner boards. Fiala will knife it down low. That's going to be picked off by Emerson. Shoveled up and held in by Jordan Spence. Oilers with a puck in the corner, and we have a penalty away from the play. Max Jones might have taken a penalty here.
Yeah, he's going to get a roughing call. They're calling everything, Jack.
But you don't mind that from Max Jones. He's trying to make one last impactful statement that, hey, I will be noticed if you play me. But here he takes a roughing call at 7:34. I could hardly blame him, Bob. With the Oilers getting some players back, of course, Max Jones is going to be a guy.
It's not a penalty in the playoffs, I can tell you that. These guys are, this is game management 101 that's gone on here. And the problem is the Oilers haven't capitalized on their opportunities, and Kemper's been locked in. You know, you take a look at bang play down low. Arvidsson with a short side open net, doesn't score. Nurse with a great move to walk in and fighting it off with Kemper.
And the Kings have gotten a power play goal, and one that came right after a power play. Off the draw, Kopitar. 1 for 4 tonight. The Kings officially on the man advantage. Kempe cross ice. One-timer score. Kevin Fiala. His 35th extends the lead to 4-0. Pickard, no chance. Top right corner. Fiala the finish. And LA threatening to turn this game into a rout.
Well, 2 for 5 on the power play. Got to stay out of the box.
Time 7:43, and the Kings waste little time in converting their second power play goal of the hockey game. Bob, they came in just 12% on the road, and Pickard actually got a piece of that Fiala blazer, but it glanced off the heel of his glove and found its way into the back of the net. So 4-0 Los Angeles. And it looks like the Kings are well on their way to securing officially home ice advantage in the first round of this playoff series upcoming with Edmonton. Kings needed one win in their final 3 games, hoping to get it done tonight and potentially rest some guys in their final 2 games against Seattle and Calgary. And you know who else is pleased about this score are the Calgary Flames, because if they have a shot in Game 82, they're going to be playing a watered-down LA lineup. Over R8, off to Brant Clark, off the draw. His shot does not make its way through. Kept in by Los Angeles' Trevor Moore. Podkolzin fumbled it away. Here's Bouchard locating Podkolzin. One-timer ripped on net by Janmark. Got good wood on it. And a save made by goaltender Darcy Kemper. Arvidsson to Bouchard. Good look again. And Janmark's shot trickles wide. And now we'll have a penalty for a trip. And Darcy Kemper pleading his case. And now Podkolzin going after Brant Clark. Tie up in the corner. This one's starting to boil over.
And this has been brewing all game. But actually, this started last game between these 2 teams.
And there's still an opportunity for a fight or two to manifest itself here But Colson is looking to go with somebody.
Well, Janmark's ready to go here.
I think Janmark wants a piece of Fogle. Remember earlier, Janmark baited Fogle into a penalty. And Janmark we've seen, can fight.
He can fight.
He can open up the lawnmower if he needs to. Kempe and Kopitar, by the way, with the assists on Fiala's 35th goal of the year. Power play goal. Kempe with 2 points tonight. That's the first for Kopitar. Right now, Kempe 70 points, Kopitar 66, trying to lead the team for an unprecedented 16th time in points. So Podkolzin will go to the box. The initial penalty was against LA. I think it was a trip against R.C. Kemper.
Yeah, Clark has been going at it all game with Podkolzin.
Let's see whether they even it up here. They get Kemper initially on the trip. And then with the rough stuff, I don't know whether they gave Podkolzin an extra 2. And we're going to be waiting a while, I believe. 4-0 the score. 11:18 to play in the second period. Again, if the Kings win, they'll have home ice for the opener of the best-of-7 series this weekend.
Fogle ripped off Arvidsson's helmet and then punched Arvidsson twice. That's when Janmark stayed in.
So they're sorting this one out, talking with Andrzej Kopitar and Corey Perry.
Colson's left the ice here, did he? What's going on here?
We're waiting for Jean Hebert, potentially with a call. He's going to explain it to both coaches. Wes McCauley continues to address things with Kopitar and Perry, longtime antagonists. Of course, Kopitar in his 19th year with the LA Kings, and Perry spent a decade and a half with the arch rival down the road, the Anaheim Ducks. And that series really culminated in a 7-game battle to the finish won by LA in 2014. Marked the beginning of the end for Bruce Boudreau's time in Anaheim. And Bob, I think you and I could have figured this one out before. Right now, the only extra 2 minutes is what we originally thought, and that was the trip on Kemper.
This is served by somebody. We don't normally see Chris Knobloch. I mean, I think this is going to get evened up here, Jack. Let's see what the call is. Oh, the extra minor right now on the board showing for LA. Okay, make the call, John.
As I said.
That's why we worked together all these years.
You got to start listening to me.
No.
Every once in a while I get
Los Angeles penalty for the goalie tripping. 92 and 37, 2 minutes each for roughing. Edmonton, 92, 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. Power play, Edmonton.
That's a weak call.
Well, it's a power play for Edmonton. I don't know where he said the extra 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct.
Clark grabs Podkolzin.
They didn't announce something for LA, because if it's an Edmonton power play,
Bob, it is, because it's a minor for Kemper, which they announced.
Right.
And then minors to Clark and Fogle, and a double minor.
Oh, for Podkolzin. So the 4 cancels out the 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So LA's got more bodies in the box.
But the Oilers don't have Podkolzin for the next 14 minutes.
The power play, and shorthanded already. That leaves them with 10 forwards, Bob. Started the game with 11 and 5. Now they've got 10 and 5 until the early stages of the third period. Oiler power play. It's 5th of the night, and it starts with Nugent Hopkins controlling off a neutral zone draw, getting it in deep for Adam Henry. Worked around the boards. Perry couldn't get there. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Kempe and Kopitar. Kempe tried to slide it across, then batted it out of midair on a deflection. Kopitar came up with it behind the net. Kempe looked like he was shooting all the way, and he's frustrated as he comes to the LA bench. Tried to set up Kopitar at the last instant, and the Kings end up without a shot on net. Here's Bouchard. That looked like end of hockey game, Bob, but the Kings don't get a shot away. Corey Perry fighting to maintain. The Kings, a couple of chances to get it cleared, and they finally execute. Quentin Byfield down the middle of the ice, trailed by Trevor Moore. Dislodged from his stick and taken by Evan Bouchard. Halfway through the extra penalty. plays Darcy Kemper the initial trip and cleared by the Kings back inside the Edmonton line. Bouchard to Darnell Nurse. He'll wrist it down deep. Jeff Skinner. Kapanen and Brown plow forward. It's Kapanen from Brown coming out of the right corner. Checked by Gavrikov, who scored the 3-0 goal for LA in the first period. Now it's Brown. Kulak sent it across. Darnell Nurse looking for a lane. Kulak guides one off the half wall. Brown stapled there and rifled down the ice by Philip Bonneau. And the Kings have drained the Atco power play time down inside 20 seconds. 9.5 to go, second period. Still half a hockey game remaining. But Edmonton needs a couple, I think, in the final 10 minutes of this second period. Nurse winds it around the boards. Brown back to the point. Kulak steps up. Slap shot. And a painful block made by Mikey Anderson. Anderson unable to rise. Skinner behind the net. Kapanen. We saw this last night in Winnipeg. Play will continue. Anderson not in imminent danger. And now as he staggers off the ice, a steal made by Byfield over the line. Wrist shot save made by Pickard. Rebound shoveled down low by LaFerriere. Vogel out of the box. LA at full strength. And he keeps it alive for Kevin Fiala, who scored earlier in this second period on a power play to make it 4-0. Jordan Spence was absolutely blasted by Max Jones. Here's Kuzmenko forcing a turnover by Nurse. Connor Brown pinned, and he coughs it up. Kuzmenko, a pass out to the point. Blast Gavrikov, and a redirect into the waiting arms of Calvin Pickard with 8:34 remaining in the second period. LA has outshot Edmonton 20-12 and taken a 4-0 lead with a chance to officially clinch home ice in the first round of these two teams' playoff series, slated to begin either Sunday or Monday in Los Angeles. That's what we're hearing. That's unofficial. But Bob and I officially will be back in just a moment at Rogers Place in downtown Edmonton with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Sportsnet Plus is your ultimate destination for Oilers games. Stream more matchups than anywhere else. Spectacular! Catch Oilers action all season. Plans starting at $19.99 a month. Subscribe now at sportsnetplus.ca. From the biggest
Face-off right side of Calvin Pickard, trailing 4-0. And again, I mean, it's hard to find fault with what Pickard's done tonight. Quinn Hudson off the draw. Little give and go with Max Jones. Hudson tried to center. Guy who was outstanding this year for the Terriers. 23 goals, 50 points, helping lead Boston the NCAA championship game. That was played Saturday night. 48 hours later, he's making his NHL debut. Here's Malott. Up top for the Kings in the offensive zone. One-timer and a leaping save made by Pickard, who stretched way out to grab that by Fiala. I think it was heading wide, and now Malott's some pushing and shoving. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Malott had a titanic tilt with Brandon Carlo in one of his first games for Los Angeles when he was called up from the farm. Great fight. One of the best we've seen all season long. More on Hudson, though, Bob, a local angle.
So Rob Hudson, his father, lived in Edmonton. He told me today in Oilers Now from the time that he was 7 or 8 until he went off to go play at college. So he grew up watching the Oilers of the 80s. His friends all wanted to be Oilers of the 80s, and he's always kept an eye on the Edmonton Oilers. Went to University of Chicago, Illinois, and played college hockey there. And
played minor pro in Muskegon for the old Lumberjacks.
Yep.
And 3 kids from the suburbs of Chicago.
There's a fourth one coming, too, a fourth boy coming.
What's his name? Do you have that for me?
I would, if you give me a second, I can get on.
I just want to make sure you've got all the prospects covered. Cole, a heck of a player, won gold with the World Junior team, Team USA, this past winter. Oilers working through the neutral zone. Trailing 4-0. Janmark bumps it down low. Brant Clark. Nice play by Nurse to hold the zone. Darnell Nurse made his NHL debut against the LA Kings. Quinn Hudson doing the same. Here's a penalty coming against Edmonton. And Brant Clark behind the net, taking off the puck. And now we'll have a slash call to 7:17 to go in the second period. Bob, we're barely halfway through the hockey game, and we have seen 11 power plays already.
And the problem is the Oilers don't have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman on theirs.
Skinner this time slashing at 12:43.
Oh.
Yeah, got the stick in on the hands of Andrei Kuzmenko.
If you say so.
Yeah, it's not much. I mean, I think both sides, like you said early, the standard was established, and that's the one thing I'll say about the veteran officials. They haven't deviated from that, Bob. You said they're calling everything. They are calling everything.
This is game management 101. We're managing this game so we can manage the series. Well, if this is going to be the way the series is going to go and Edmonton gets all their...
Did Perry take an unsportsmanlike conduct? He's getting the gate here. Wes McCauley is sending Corey Perry off. Now, there's 2 minutes up on the board. It's possible he just took a 10. But there's also, I didn't see the T sign. Now, we saw the T sign improperly applied a couple of games ago when it, in fact, was a 10-minute misconduct.
It's a 5-on-3 here, Jack.
I think it's 5-on-3. And Corey Perry's gotten a 2 and a 10, because if it was only 2, he'd be in the box. But instead, so now the Oilers are going to play with 9 forwards until about 17 minutes are left in this hockey game. Max Jones.
They just got to get through this game tonight.
Yes. And what you mean by that is no further injuries. Yeah. Off the draw. Here's Adrian Kempe. 5-on-3 for the LA Kings with 7 minutes to play in the second period. Looking to put this game away, already leading 4-0. Kopitar and Kempe trading the puck up top. Oilers in a tight box. Nugent Hopkins defending between circles. Emberson. Here's a blast and a block by Nurse. Did that shatter his stick?
It did.
5-on-2.5. 5-on-2.5 right now. Kopitar, Kempe, loading, shooting, and a glove save made by Pickard. And that's a good save by Pickard because it enables Nurse to grab a stick or at least be replaced. The Oilers are going to actually get 3 fresh bodies out there with 1:23 left in the 5-on-3 and 6:40 to go in this second period. Kempe's frustrated, number 1, by being stopped, but number 2, putting that puck in the leather of Pickard with no rebound and the ability to keep that play moving. Josh Brown, freshly called up on an emergency basis, out on the 5-on-3 with Adam Henrique and Brett Kulak. Kempe off the draw, steps up, swings to Kopitar. Waits. Fake the pass to Kempe, gives it up instead for Fiala. Now Kopitar, right side of the net. Kempe up top, right of the circle. Loading, Kempe, thought about a one-timer, gives it up. Kuzmenko, shot, tip, kicked out, Pickard, then a sprawling save. Kuzmenko stopped the second time. Fiala, Kempe in tight, Kopitar, right side of the net. Kempe, right face-off dot. Kopitar threw it in front, tipped away from Byfield and slung down the ice by Adam Henrique. 35 seconds left in the 5-on-3.
They've kept their first unit out here the entire time, up by 4 goals.
Here's Kempe dragging his way in while they're trying to put this game out of reach. Kopitar, Kempe, right face-off dot. Here's Philip Deneau. Also, practice potentially for the postseason. How often do you get a 2-minute 5-on-3? Fiala, a little give and go down low with Byfield. Fiala shoots, and that went off both posts and stayed out. Fiala went post to post. It stayed out, and Calvin Pickard able to get on top of it.
Nurse is going to get a penalty. He fell on Byfield. He's going to the box.
Byfield's hurt, or at least shaken up.
He'll be fine. It's a penalty to Nurse, though.
How's that guy on Long Island?
His son got drafted yesterday.
Is that right?
In the OHL draft.
Tell the story.
Nikolai Kulemin. I thought he was going to be okay. It was a hard play by Eric Greiba on Nikolai Kulemin.
I don't think he played another NHL game. Certainly out for that season.
Yeah, Jackie didn't play another NHL game. Ever since then, I stopped playing a doctor.
Now go to review.
They're going to review this on Nurse. What are they looking for here, Bob?
Well, I mean, this play happens a fair amount. It's not like he punched the guy in the face when he was down like we saw the other night when...
Well, the second cross-check with Byfield already on the ice doesn't help here. Byfield has gone down underneath. That's what you're a little concerned about if you're an Oiler fan.
Yeah, they got to...
Is Nurse that second cross-check with Byfield down
I know you're frustrated, and I know Byfield's sitting there chiseling in a 4-0 lead on a 5-on-3.
Trying to jam that puck home that went off the post from Fiala, fluttered to the other post and stayed out. And now they're reviewing a call here with 5:24 to go in the period.
The big issue is it suspension worthy?
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
He's got a prior history.
That second cross-check. First one really isn't a big deal. It's kind of a ragdoll down, but then it's the cross-check when Byfield's already down. That's the one where, I mean, the initial ragdoll's next to nothing. I don't know. I don't think that's suspension worthy. I mean, I realize I'm the Oiler announcer.
Yeah,
but
no, I agree with you. I don't think it is, but the way this game's been managed, I don't trust any of the calls out on the ice right now.
Well, I mean, if Nurse gets tossed from this game, what ultimately is the big deal? It's the suspension you're worried about.
Here's the call coming from Johnny Bear.
After review, it's confirmed 25 Edmonton, 5 major in-game misconduct for cross-checking.
He's gone. I don't think this will be suspendable, though. Certainly not beyond the last regular season game, which, if this score holds, is meaningless anyways. What it does mean in the here and now is that the 5-on-3 is in effect for another 7 seconds, and then the Kings will get a continuous power play basically for the balance of this second period, because there's only going to be a 24-second differential. So it'll be 5-on-4 essentially for the entire rest of the way here in the second period, unless LA takes a penalty, which the way this game has gone certainly wouldn't be surprising. Edmonton has had 5 power plays of its own, failed to capitalize on any of them. So 5-on-3 for 7 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 goes into effect for 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Off the face-off, Vogel taps it back. Here's a drive by Moore that was blocked by Josh Brown. Another one-timer and a save Pickard on Drew Doughty just as the 2 penalties expire. So now Jones and Skinner will come out. It's no longer a 5-on-3, it's a 5-on-4 for a full 5 minutes. And that covers essentially the rest of the second period, which has 5:17 remaining. Vogel, a goal and an assist tonight. Byfield, Gavrikov, Fiala also with a goal and an assist. Those are your LA goal scorers. 3 in the first, 1 here in the second. Off the draw, Drew Doughty. Down low to LaFerriere. Doughty blast, and that stayed out. He'll streak over and play the puck. Up the right-hand side for Deneau. Now LaFerriere into the zone, dashing in against Kulak, who rides him into the boards. 4-0 LA. Adam Henrique with a chance to clear. Pitchforks it safely out of the zone, and Doughty has to whirl back into his own end to control the puck. LaFerriere at center. So Nurse gone for the game. Right now the Oilers have 10 forwards and 5 defensemen at their disposal. They're playing 3 guys short. Up the right-hand side, 9 and 5, excuse me. Brown, drag move to the middle on a backhander, short-handed, flipped wide. Oilers have 14 skaters, Bob, for the next, 6 or 7 minutes of game action. Janmark to Cam Dineen. He'll gain the line. Driven off the puck by Kopitar, LA's #1 power play unit out with 4 minutes to go in the period. Hudson is serving this 5-minute major assessed against Darnell Nurse for cross-checking. And he's gone for the remainder of the hockey game. Kempe gives it up for Kopitar. Swung it to the opposite corner. Kuzmenko couldn't get there. Briefly held in by Turcotte, but now an attempted clear fails. Fiala knocked it down as the Oilers did not get it out. Fiala slap pass to Kopitar. Stepping in, a drive by Kempe, and a save made by Pickard. It was Dineen who didn't get the puck out initially, but when Kopitar has it stolen, the Oilers with another attempted clear that fails. Kuzmenko holds the zone. High slot Kempe gets it back from Kopitar. One-timer rifled by Fiala, and a save by a steadily peppered Calvin Pickard, who's made 21 stops on 25 shots. And now Janmark with some rough stuff on Turcotte after the whistle. 3:19 to go in the period. Still 3 minutes left on the 5-minute major.
Well, the Oilers are going to have to be a little bit more disciplined here the rest of the way, Jack. You can see they're exasperated and frustrated, and it's a little bit understandable, but Colson, I was a little surprised that was deemed a misconduct. Perry, we're not sure what was said there with the veteran officials. And
we're guessing a magic word.
Or two.
Kopitar wins the face-off.
That, frankly, we've all used
turned over by
before.
Kempe. Sent in deep by Nugent Hopkins. Bob, I don't know what you're talking about. My language is always clean. Here's Kempe. Working his way in left to right for Kuzmenko. Gives it up Fiala. Around Nugent Hopkins. Back to Kempe. He's open. He shoots and missed high glove. Rebound taken by Kuzmenko. Kopitar. Kempe. Kuzmenko between circles. Kempe left face-off dot. Tried to center for Turcotte. Broken up. High bounce, held in by Kopitar, down low Fiala. Out-muscled for the puck by Brown initially, then dragged his way to the middle of the ice. Unable to get a shot away, and it's rammed off the right-hand boards and out by Kulak. Kemper's pass too far for Kuzmenko. He'll skate into it, right circle, pursued by Dineen. Then smashed against the boards by Emberson. Here's Dineen with an attempted clear that'll be settled by Drew Doughty. Deneau. Top of the right circle. One-timer Doughty missed the net. Stepping on is Trevor Moore, picked up by Edmonton and cleared by Emberson. 2 minutes to play in the period. Kemper, long stretch. Deneau, middle of the ice. Backdoor play, and unable to finish was Warren Fogle. Set up by Trevor Moore. LaFerriere fell down. Janmark with a chance to clear. Fogle stripped him. Deneau had his stick held. Another penalty coming. And what do we have here?
It's on LA.
Holding the stick.
It's on Deneau.
Deneau was trying to sell that his stick was held. But now let's get the call.
24 minor penalty. Holding the stick.
There it is. So that will wipe out the remaining minute 31 on the 5-minute major to Darnell Nurse. We'll skate 4-on-4 for the remainder of the second period, and then Edmonton will have an abbreviated power play of 29 seconds to start the third. Though they won't have Corey Perry available on that power play, nor will they have Darnell Nurse, who's been getting steady second unit work with the various injuries that have come Edmonton's way down the stretch in this regular season. Nevertheless, good work by the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill.
Yeah, good job. I mean,
to prevent this game from getting out of hand.
Kings are 2 for 8 in the power play in this game. And they've had a lot of time to work with. You have them at 2 for 8?
Yeah, 2 for 8. You're right.
Just making sure.
Nudged up the right-hand side by Doughty. Kopitar reversing back behind for Mikey Anderson. Jeff Skinner throws his body. Creates a loose puck situation. Now Kopitar will settle it down with 90 seconds to go in this second period. And LA leading by a count of 4-0. Here's Adrian Kempe. A pass down the middle intended for Kopitar. Muscles up against Bouchard and Cam Dineen. Keeps the puck lodged against the end boards as we approach 1 minute remaining in the second. Kicked out behind the net. Kempe had it knocked off his stick by Skinner. Bouchard ahead for Dineen. And now Kempe trailing him. Kempe fell down. Nugent Hopkins gathering steam through the neutral zone. Cam Dineen in front. And a save made by Kemper. Nugent Hopkins. Matter of time before I did that. Nugent Hopkins high slot looking for a shot. Not one available, so he'll drop it off for Emberson. Emberson taking it hard behind the net. Scored his first goal as an Oiler Friday against the Sharks, his old team. Tried to center for Nugent Hopkins. Came off the boards to Kulak. He'll direct a pass to Connor Brown. 30 seconds to go. Brown's going to take a skate back to center. That forces Edmonton to tag back up. Arvidsson ratchets it up. Checked by Kempe. Got back up. Found Kulak. Left point. 20 seconds to go in the period. Here's Emberson. Looking. Forced by Doughty to give it up. Hard rim by Clark. The Oilers are on the power play here for the final 10 seconds of the period, but it looks like Edmonton will run out of time before they get a shot. Arvidsson from his own blue line lifts one toward Kemper, who knocks it down on one bounce, and there's just 12 seconds remaining on the penalty to Philip Deneau. In a penalty-filled game, the Edmonton Oilers have done some good work on the PK, but nevertheless find themselves down 4-0. They've been shorthanded 8 times, and when you're shorthanded 8 times in 40 minutes, Bob, well, it's hard to manage more than 13 shots on net against Darcy Kemper. And if you're only going to get 13 shots against Darcy...
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
It's our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth alongside Bob Stauffer, Jack Michaels with a call of tonight's game. The Oilers and Kings in a penalty-filled hockey game that has seen 14 combined power plays through 40 minutes. It's Los Angeles 4 and Edmonton no score. Fogle and Fiala with a goal and an assist. Byfield and Gavrikov with the other goals. 3 in the first for LA, 1 more in the second. 2 power play goals for the Kings in 8 opportunities, including an extended 5-on-3 and a 5-minute major whistled against Darnell Nurse, who's gone for the game.
Well, there's got to be more discipline. We know that. There's some exasperation and frustration. Second of the back-to-back.
But Golson and Perry serving the remainder of their 10-minute misconducts in the box. It's actually Edmonton on a power play for the first 12 seconds of this third period as we drop the puck high atop center ice. Nugent-Hopkins pulls it back against Trevor Moore. Kulak and Bouchard trade the puck. LA 20 minutes away from securing home ice advantage in this upcoming first-round playoff series between the Oilers and the Kings. Bouchard takes a shot, redirected, saved Kemper, and the rebound deflected, landed on the top of the net, still sitting there and whistled down. Wow. Kemper had a redirect right off his pads, and then the Oilers put the rebound above the crossbar on the top of the net.
I don't think you'd see that happen again off the deflection. I don't think you could make that happen if you tried. 99 times out of 100. Crazy.
Went off Doughty.
Yeah.
Doughty playing banged up off the draw, shot by Bouchard and a save. Darcy Kemper looking for back-to-back shutouts at the expense of the Edmonton Oilers, whom he bageled 9 days ago with 26 saves.
You know, the Oilers went to the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Final, Jack. It's about self-preservation to a certain degree here tonight.
Wrist shot redirected wide. Oh, no question, especially with what's gone on the last couple of weeks where the Oilers have tried to bring some guys back only to see them re-aggravate old injuries or pick up new ones. Here's a 2-on-1. Deneau and Fogle. Fogle waits, shoots, and missed glove side against Calvin Pickard.
What a chance he had.
And that whistled off the boards all the way back to center. Kempe on the reload, gives it up for Gavrikov. Wrist shot blocked, second one blockered aside by Calvin Pickard, who's played very well tonight. He's really battled. 22 saves, 4 goals against. Does not begin to tell the tale of the pressure that Calvin Pickard has been under tonight. His team has managed 15 shots at the other end. Here's Quinn Hudson. Took the rookie lap. First NHL game tonight. Ineligible for the postseason, of course. Wristed in front and taken away by Jordan Spence. This is going to be waved off for icing by linesman Caleb Apr.14 and reset for Josh Brown. 90 seconds into this final period.
And the Kings, with the 4-goal lead, can afford to sit back, and they call it a 1-3-1. A lot of nights it looks like a 1-1-3.
Jim Miller's club lost in 5 games to Edmonton last season. Upgraded in net. Slung toward the Oiler net from center. Calvin Pickard left in the corner. Adam Henry. Kings looking for victory number 47 of the year. That would match Edmonton. But LA has lost 4 fewer games in regulation than the Oilers have. Max Jones will send it in deep. Oilers sitting on 99 points will get one more crack at a 4th 100-point campaign. Cam and Bob will have the call for you Game 82 from San Jose. That'll be an 8:30 Mountain puck drop on Wednesday night.
They're missing you on the TV side tonight, Jack. I'm getting some direct messages via Twitter.
Here's Brett Kulak. Mikey Anderson up to Doughty, right-hand side. Batted out of midair by Warren Fogle. Ahead to Trevor Moore. Little spin move on Evan Bouchard. Oilers are about to go 0-4 on these Amazon games. Here's Drew Doughty, right-hand side. If our admittedly rudimentary math is correct.
Well, 2 of the 4 have been with Edmonton returning back on the second of a back-to-back.
Well, and also, if they lose tonight, I believe that would be, 3 shutout losses among those 4 games.
I know they got shut out against New Jersey once.
Here's Arvidsson cross ice, and what a save by Kemper on a read to deny Connor Brown. Pushed hard off the left skate off an innocuous-looking play coming out of the corner. A sublime feed to Connor Brown.
Good play by Brown. He basically picked Mikey Anderson, knocked him to the ice, and then rifled one, and Brown's had a hot stick of late.
Arvidsson, a good look, but Darcy Kemper.
Yeah, he's stopping everything, and he squirted the shot.
What a read.
I do want to point out, they got a really good guy doing play-by-play at Prime. I think right now the best American broadcaster out there, Jack, in terms of at a national level. You know who that is, John Forsberg. He's good. He's one of the good guys, too. They've always, those guys that were in Carolina, no ego at all. You know what I mean?
Trip Tracy, a great guy. Chuck Hayton, a Hall of Famer. And Chuck's replacement, Mike Maniscalco, also a nice fella. In the meantime, Darnell Nurse handling the puck for Edmonton. Also, we should acknowledge the fact this will be the last regular season trip to Rogers Place for one of the great colleagues we've enjoyed for the last, in your case, 17 years, me 15, but in the NHL, a 45-year career, Nick Nixon, his final season as voice of the LA Kings. Wrist shot deflected, Hall of Famer in his own right. He'll call the Kings first-round series for sure, then move over to the radio should LA advance beyond round 1. Kevin Fiala in from the right-hand side.
That looked offside, Jack.
It did. Overari keeps it moving. Grabbed by Vasily Podkolzin. Pitchforked out to center. I thought it was a little cruel when you told Nick you hope he has only 6 games left in his career.
You know I didn't do that.
Overari up to Fiala. He'll dump it in. Kulak to Podkolzin. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins winding it up to center ice. He'll jam it in deep. Drew Doughty up the boards. Battled for in the right-hand corner of the LA zone. Nugent-Hopkins had the puck wrestled from his grasp. Fogle will bring it out. A goal and an assist in his second game back at Edmonton. Spent the last 3 years with the Oilers. Career year last season, and he surpassed those numbers this year. Goals, assists, points across the board. Here's a dish to Nugent-Hopkins. His shot flutters wide.
Edmonton's had some chances in this game.
Kemper's been rock solid. 16 saves to his credit to this point. Mikey Anderson trapped in the corner to Andrei Kopitar up the right-hand side and kicked out of there by Fogle. Retrieved by Brett Kulak. 14 minutes remain in the hockey game. Brown shoots it in. LA picked up 3 goals in the first period, 1 more in the second. Kopitar off to Adrian Kempe. 1-on-1, his shot. Deflected off Dineen up on the boards. Grabbed by Kuzmenko on the rebound. Well defended by Dineen. And here comes Kasperi Kapanen. Wristed ahead, looking for Jones. Angled off the boards, but not out by Gavrikov. Edmonton in the blue and orange, outlined in white. The Kings in their early 90s unis. They've gone back to the traditional white, silver, and black of the Gretzky era. Here's Andrei Kopitar. Up the right-hand side, Jordan Spence. Spence, born in Australia. Dad's a Canadian, mom's Japanese. Speaks 4 languages.
Well, that's 4 more than me.
Lead pass, left-hand side. You've got LaFerriere. Out to Moverare. Brent Clark, a shot. Blocked by Adam Henrique. He'll come up with a puck and look for Victor Arvidsson. Here come the Oilers left to right. Arvidsson had it stripped by LaFerriere.
Spot the puck a bit tonight for Edmonton.
Over Are to Kevin Fiala and sent deep into the Edmonton zone. Pickard ahead for Quinn Hudson. Lobbed in by Podkolzin. Tracked by Brent Clark. Backhanded over to Philip Deneau. Left-hand side, Trevor Moore. I thought it was funny this morning. They asked Ryan Nugent-Hopkins what he thought of Quinn Hudson, and he goes, well, I was on the ice with him for about 3 minutes, so the jury's still out. He was joking, of course, but in this game, it's tough to really get a read on what Quinn Hudson may eventually be able to bring at the NHL level. He served a 5-minute major.
Well, they're playing a good team that's got all their horses, with the exception really of Joel Edmondson and maybe Tanner Jeannot, but they're not missing 3 50-goal scorers from the last 3 years in this league.
No. Not to mention...
And they don't have 50-goal scorers from their team.
No, it's a balance. LA will... If LA is going to beat you, it's going to be with balance. Here's Kopitar taking an outlet pass, dishing off, reach shot, score. Adrian Kempe, who's had all kinds of chances tonight, finally buries one, making it 5-0 with his 34th goal of the year, set up on a sublime feed from Andrzej Kopitar.
Well, the Oilers got caught in a little bit of an overload up the ice, and they created the odd man break the other way, and there's nothing that Calvin Pickard could do. It would have had to have been a 10-bell save to pull it out of the net there. So,
candidly, he's been hung out to dry tonight.
Yep.
I mean, Pickard, the record is going to show he's given up 5 goals on 28 shots.
Just to confirm, Jack, that was Kempe and not Doughty, right?
Doughty, of course, playing this game after missing the last week and a half. He missed 47 games at the beginning of the year with an ankle injury, and he basically said, look, I'm not going to be 100% the rest of the way. Wanted to play in this game, wanted to secure the home ice. And Kempe and Kopitar enjoying the 5th goal. And what do we have? Some shrapnel on the ice in the LA zone?
I don't know.
There's a delay
David
here.
Riddick's coming in, Jack.
Boy, that's interesting. Is that a spotter making that call?
Or are they thinking they need to protect the goalie? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Kemper's got a 6 shutout. He's 12 minutes away. That's curious, but Kemper will leave, having stopped all 16 shots through nearly 51 minutes of work. Did you see a bump at on the previous shift where Kemper would have taken some head contact?
I did not.
Yeah. We'll try to get some amplification on that story. Walking in is LaFerriere, and he shoots wide. Rebound Fiala. That was stopped by Bouchard. Maybe it is preservation. Of course, the Kings, the front end of a back-to-back, they'll play in Seattle tomorrow. David Riddick was certainly going to see action in that game. He's 15-13-2 on the year. A blast from the slot by LaFerriere, stopped by Pickard. Riddick's save percentage at .890. He hasn't played in the last couple weeks. We told you Kemper 7 consecutive starts for the Kings down the stretch. As first they were chasing the Pacific Division title when Vegas clinched that. Then LA wanted to wrap up home ice, which they have with an emphatic win tonight, 5-0. And all that remains in terms of suspense in this game is what the final score will be. Moverare dumps it down the ice, and that will be an icing call whistled against the Kings. 10.5 to go in the third period. And Bob and I, again, will try to get word. I mean, Kemper's on the LA bench, so it's not if he was detected by a concussion spotter, he'd be underneath.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Is it? I mean, the only other thing I can think of, Bob, is as we talked about, 6.5 periods of scoreless hockey against Edmonton. Is LA playing some mind games here? They don't want Edmonton to get a goal in garbage time. I just to kind of break the mental situation. It just seems odd.
Yep. Who knows?
Here's Brett Kulak. It's 5-0 with 10 minutes to go. I mean, you got to give me more than that, Bob. Let's speculate a little bit.
Sometimes less is more. I think right now we're just hoping to get out of this game.
Yes, beyond the net for Kapanen. And now Max Jones. Quinn Hudson will get a few more shifts here in his NHL debut. Ran into traffic in front of the LA bench. Jones works the cycle down low for Kasperi Kapanen, being defended by Brant Clark. Steal by Trevor Moore. Up the right-hand side. He'll punch it forward and be ridden by Kulak into the corner. Carving it free for a moment was Hellenius. Up top, Mikey Anderson. Sammy Hellenius, a rookie fourth-line center. And of course, guy that the Kings...
His father was also Samuel Hellenius.
And played 155 games.
He made the hellacious decision one time to drop the gloves with George LaRock.
Here's Podkolzin up the right-hand side. I think he also had a battle with our colleague Louis DeBrusque. That might have been in the American League.
He was a big man.
Here's Alex Turcotte driving toward the net. Little give and go with LaFerriere back in front, stolen away by Corey Perry. 8:45 to go.
See, so they call all the slashes through 2 periods here, and then nothing in the 3rd period. Put the whistles away.
Well, you can't say Edmonton didn't have its opportunities.
No, Edmonton and Edmonton was also taking the more egregious penalties.
Fiala throws it toward the net, flicked into the corner by Pickard. Rifled on net by Jordan Spence, and a routine save made by Calvin Pickard with 8:20 to go, 3rd period. 5-0 Los Angeles. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Oilers Radio Network.
David Riddick last played against San Jose 2 weeks ago. Got the win. Gave up 1 goal on 30 shots. Talked with the LA Brass during the break. Bob and I gleaning some information for them, and they basically repeated what we kind of thought is, with the game already decided, the 6th shutout for Darcy Kemper, it would have been nice, but again, playing the long game a little bit, wanting to get Riddick some extra work. He'll start the back end of the back-to-back tomorrow against Seattle. So Kemper removed basically in the interest of preservation. Here's Mo Verari, a shot, and that's dropped and held by Calvin Pickard. I suppose if he had 7 shutouts coming in and had a chance to tie for the league lead, they might have let him finish it off. That's another thing that could be in play.
Jack, the Oilers have 99 points as a team this year.
Right.
You think they want to get to 100 points to get San Jose the last game of the year? And Connor McDavid's got 99 points.
Well, we know Connor McDavid's going to play. They're not going to sit him out with an opportunity to get 100 points.
Right.
For a 5th season and an 8th in 10, with the other 2 years, one being shortened by a pandemic and the other by a broken collarbone. Here's Jeff Malott behind the net. Hellenius centering pass intercepted by Janmark. Lead pass for Hudson out of his reach. And then a hard hit delivered by Janmark. Malott rifles one on net left circle, and a save made by Pickard. Turcotte hammered again by Arvidsson. A blast from distance and a save made by Pickard against Brant Clark. Mo Verari holds the zone. Janmark comes away with the puck, and he'll drift behind his own net with 7:45 remaining in the 3rd period. LA has done its job tonight. Kings needed to wrap it up against a depleted Oiler lineup, and they took control with 3 first-period goals, 1 in each of the 2nd and 3rd periods, and it's 5-0. Corey Perry turned it over at the LA line. Kings are going to finish 3-1 head-to-head against Edmonton this year, but again, it would be incomplete if you didn't remind people that Draisaitl and McDavid were not available for the last 2 meetings. Shot by Emerson, a save made by David Riddick. Not to suggest LA might not have come out on top. Perry trying to bait Jordan Spence into a fight, and if Spence is smart, he won't take that fight. Emerson, in the meantime, tracks down a loose puck in the corner, and he'll emerge from his own zone left to right for Kapanen, who's hit hard by Malott. Gavrikov to Malott, who goes about 6'4" and 230 pounds. He adds a little muscle to the LA lineup. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets the nod, especially if Jeannot is not healthy in time for the first round of the playoffs. Tanner Jeannot, before he got hurt, had had a goal and an assist in his last 2 games for the Kings. Nugent Hopkins to Connor Brown over the line. Tried to give it back to Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard on a deflection and a save made by David Riddick, who, of course, saw plenty of the Edmonton Oilers when he was the netminder for the Calgary Flames. 6:17 to play, third period. Kings are about to wrap up home ice advantage in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs head-to-head against Edmonton. Tonight it's the Kings 5, the Oilers nothing. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network. 5-0 Los Angeles. A face-off coming to the left of David Riddick, who came in for Darcy Kemper. He's faced 3 Edmonton shots on net. Kemper leaving with about 12 minutes to go in this game. LA had just scored to make it 5-0, and Jim Hiller, again, thinking no doubt about self-preservation, makes the goaltending move. Off the draw, circle to the left of Riddick. Bouchard smashed a slap shot wide, but Colson held the rebound in for Adam Henrique. His centering pass ticked off the glove of Riddick, grabbed by Fiala, and he was successfully able to launch that back through center. Kuzmenko beyond the reach of Fiala, who eventually catches up to it and whacks it around the boards for LaFerriere. And the Kings are resting some key people. Doughty gives it up, a one-timer and a kick save made by Pickard. Boy, he has been pelted by some quality scoring chances tonight. That one off the stick of Fiala. Shot from distance by Hudson. I believe that's his first NHL shot on goal. Kicked away by Riddick.
3 slashes up the ice, by the way. Put Coles in trying to make a play there.
Nugent Hopkins up the middle, broken up by Kuzmenko. Kevin Fiala looked to give it up for Sammy Hellenius. Puck bouncing in the grasp of Nugent Hopkins, and now jumping up and dishing off to Kapanen was Cam Dineen. Turned it over. Here's Sammy Hellenius to the net. Dishes off, and a wrist shot deflected up and out of play by Ty Emberson.
It's got to come. I'm not sure Kapanen's going to play in the playoffs. I mean, he's
got a lot of speed, but he's starting to turn the puck over a little bit at the blue line.
Too many.
4:53 to go, third period. And to your point, Bob, a lot of competitiveness right now in the Oiler lineup 100%. With some bodies about to come back. So, we'll come back with the final 5 minutes of the Edmonton Oilers' home schedule. This is their home regular season finale, and it's been all Los Angeles. 5-0 Kings, 4:53 to go. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. Do it. Los Angeles 5, Edmonton no score. We bring you back for the final 5 minutes of the third period at Rogers Place. Here's a one-timer taken by Emberson, sent wide from Arvidsson. Sharp angle shot and a save made by David Riddick against Corey Perry, who then scoots it around the boards for Ty Emberson. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you, along with Brent Griffiths and Rob Brown. High atop Rogers Place, shot from distance, handled by Riddick up near the clavicle at the expense of Victor Arvidsson. 4:22 remaining in the third period. In case you're just joining us, Adrian Kempe with a goal and 2 assists. Fiala and Fogle each with a goal and a helper. Andrei Kopitar on the score sheet twice as well. And it's been all Kings. 3 in the first, 1 in each of the second and third periods. And the Oilers have countered with just 20 shots at the LA net. But again, no McDavid, no Draisaitl, no Hyman. Vander Kane and Trent Frederick still hoping to be back for Game 1 of this playoff series, which will start in Los Angeles. Bob and I have been told either Sunday or Monday. Nothing official. That's just what we've been hearing. Centering pass deflected away by Brett Kulak. Darting down the left-hand side. Hudson had it poked away. Warren Fogle settles it for Philip Deneau. There's so many factors, especially in Los Angeles. The Lakers are in the NBA playoffs. They still share the arena with the Kings. Clippers are out in Inglewood, so that won't be a factor. But the NHL playoff schedule is impacted by so many things beyond everyone's control. So we'll just have to be patient. Sammy Hellenius around the boards. Alex Turcotte. Hopefully Cam and Bob will have an update for you Wednesday in San Jose when Edmonton plays Game 82 against the Sharks And Connor McDavid will go for 100 points, as will the Edmonton Oilers. Kapanen in from the right-hand side. Checked off the puck by Malott. Max Jones throws it behind the net. Kapanen sealed off the puck. Clear up the left-hand side. Moverare locates Malott. And now gaining the line is Brent Clark. Shot sailing high, grabbed by Pickard, and he'll freeze it with 2:55 on the game clock. Kings have not played Kempe or Kopitar since they made it 5-0. They pulled Darcy Kemper. And Jim Hiller recognizing, especially when you look around the league, the Winnipeg Jets are probably Exhibit A around the league for the other 15 playoff contenders. Hey, we don't want to get guys banged up down the stretch.
Some might say Edmonton's done that as well here over the last few games.
Absolutely. I think the Oilers, quite frankly, with a couple bodies coming back and then re-injuring themselves, are thinking, hey, let's just get through the regular season. We have to play LA in a parking lot, we will. One-timer Kuzmenko, redirected wide by LaFerriere. And it's borne out by the statistics. I mean, Edmonton is actually 6-2 in Los Angeles in the last three playoff series, 6-4 in this building.
Kings have won some overtime games, Jack, as you know.
That's right. Well, the win 9 days ago was just the second for LA in regulation in the last 20 against Edmonton. They're going to get another one tonight, but both times against the depleted lineup. Here's Fiala breaking in. Shot denied by Calvin Pickard. Boy, he's played pretty well tonight. 32 saves, a lot of high danger chances. Here's Arvidsson off the rush. A shot flicked away by Riddick. Rebound cleared by Los Angeles. Looked like it was played with a high stick by Kuzmenko. Oilers come up with it. Emberson shoots it in from center off a feed from Josh Brown. Final 2 minutes at Rogers Place.
That was a hook they missed.
Malott to Hellenius up the right-hand side. Deflected away. Pass ahead for Hudson, who didn't make a touch on the puck, but they'll just keep it moving.
They're getting this one over with, let me tell you.
Chipped up the right-hand side. Could have been icing against Edmonton. Instead, it's Malott dragging his way in, then centering to no one in particular. Kings had 3 men back in the neutral zone. One of those, Jordan Spence, will trade it with Gavrikov back in his own end. Arvidsson caught an edge and fell awkwardly. At this point, the Oilers are going to wait for the final 15 to elapse. Pack their bags for a significant stretch and head to San Jose tomorrow afternoon. Cam and Bob will have the regular season finale, Game 82 against the Sharks, live from the tank. And that game set for an 8:30 Mountain Time faceoff. Kulak, a shot toward the net from the right point. Blocked and cleared by Spence. Final minute of regulation. We won't need overtime tonight. LA has been the dominant team, and if you looked at the two lineups, that shouldn't really be a big surprise. And full marks to the Kings. They've had a strong second half. They've been deadly at home
all year.
And you have to say it. They've earned a home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, Bob, you take a look at this team. Yeah. They're 16-4 in their last 20 games, no matter where they've played. That's pretty good.
Well,
that's the kind of run that Edmonton has put together the last few second halves of the year.
Not this year after the Four Nations.
Nope. It's going to be 13-13-1, as you know, in their last 27. But I think you'd agree with me, injuries have played a role in that record.
Massive.
Here's Henry looking for Kulak down the right-hand side. Final half minute of this third period. Oilers just trying to get on the board here. David Riddick to Moverare. Flip down the middle, and looks like we're going to have a combined shutout. I don't think Cam Dineen is going to press the attack here with 10 seconds to go. He'll pull up behind his own net, and the final few seconds of the Oilers' home schedule will run off. And the Los Angeles Kings, for the first time in 4 years, will have home ice advantage in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Edmonton Oilers. They close it out with a 5-0 shutout The last 3 games these two teams have played, LA has given up exactly 1 goal. Kemper could have had a shutout tonight. He won't get credit for it as Riddick comes on in mop-up duty and stops all 5 shots he faces. The Oilers with depleted lineups, losing twice to Los Angeles in the last 9 days. 3-0 at Crypto.com Arena a few days ago.
Final.
And tonight 5-0 in their home finale. What do you make of a potential lineup for San Jose?
Now,
I get the feeling, Bob, that while we'll see McDavid and potentially Draisaitl, it's not going to be a full dress rehearsal.
You think we're going to see Leon? I'm not sure we're going to see Leon.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
That's why
And what about
I think Leon ideally would like to play 1 game before the playoffs, but I don't know whether he's going to get that opportunity. I don't think it's as important for Wallman, who's more recently played than Leon Draisaitl has.
Sure.
In other words, I think the Oilers are sufficiently spooked to the point where, other than getting McDavid 100 points, there's not really a great deal of motivation to play a full lineup on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think Noah Philp will be back up because they played 1 game under today. So
you think Hyman will play?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. He's played more recently than Draisaitl.
I don't know if Hyman, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm with you on McDavid. I think the thing was they didn't want him to play back. And the best part about tonight, Jack, is that it's over. This was a tough watch.
Sure.
This, and
not entirely surprising.
No, and that's the problem. Kind of knew it was going to happen. So move on. See what Edmonton brings against San Jose to close out the regular season and go from there.
And finally, just one word on, I think the storyline basically on Wednesday will be Connor McDavid going for 100 points.
And the Oilers going for 100 points as a team.
And I think those are 2, substantial milestones. Having said that, Bob, what's your gut tell you in terms of what Chris Knobloch does with the lineup on Wednesday? If there are guys that are on the borderline, what do you think he'll do?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's the thing. I don't know what's going to. I know this. Edmonton will be more disciplined. They were frustrated tonight. I think we'll see what happens here.
I don't think Wednesday's a gimme either, because the one thing I'll say about the San Jose Sharks, they
have structure and process in their game, Jack.
Anaheim has beaten Edmonton 3 out of 4 this year, and I would argue that San Jose is a better hockey club than Anaheim right now.
Yeah,
I don't care what the records say.
One big difference, though: Anaheim's got better goaltending and has all year, right?
And they've got probably, outside of Celebrini and Toffoli, you could say Anaheim's a little deeper with its top 3 lines, but structure and process-wise and long-term, I think San Jose's actually on a smoother track.
Anaheim's got better defense. That's part of it with San Jose. Now, San Jose's got a D coming. Sam Dickinson will be on their team next year. He's the best of their young.
Goaltending is the big key.
Yeah. So,
Lucas Dostal has been, especially against Edmonton,
2 of the 4 victories that they've got this year on Dostal. This was a rough one tonight from the Oilers. Move on. Let's get going for San Jose, and then let's get into the playoffs. Playoffs, and focus on that, because this was ugly tonight, and the less we talk about it, the better at this stage.
It was an exercise, is what it was. And again, LA with 3 in the first to basically secure home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, cruising home with a 5-0 victory. Adrian Kempe, a goal and 2 assists. Kevin Fiala and Warren Fogle each with a goal and a helper. Calvin Pickard, officially 31 saves on 36 shots. He played well tonight. Don't let the 5 goals against fool you. He's going to finish his regular season at 22-10-1. Stuart Skinner, we know, will start against the San Jose Sharks. He'll be looking for victory number 26. And again, Cam and Bob will have that game for you on Wednesday night. It's an 8:30 Mountain Time puck drop right here on the Oilers Radio Network. Kemper played 48 minutes tonight, stopped 16 out of 16. Riddick in mop-up duty stopped all 5 shots he faced. The story tonight was the power plays. Edmonton 0 for 6, LA 2 for 8. The final score: Kings 5, Oilers nothing. LA now 47-24-9, 16 wins in its last 20 games. The Edmonton Oilers dropped to 47-29-5. They'll be looking to surpass the 100-point plateau as a team for the 4th consecutive year on Wednesday, and Connor McDavid will be looking for his 5th consecutive 100 100-point season. We expect him to play on Wednesday, sitting on 99 points for the year, including 9 assists in his last 3 games. Cam and Bob will have that call for you Wednesday. Until then, for Bob Stauffer, Cam Moon, and of course, Bryn Griffiths and Rob Brown, I'm Jack Michaels saying good night from Rogers Place. The final score, LA 5, Edmonton no score. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. The Rogers postgame show starts